Well, hello, and welcome to Tips and Tools for Sunday School, where we're training teachers and building programs for life transformation. And I am your host, Coach Patti. Thank you so much for joining us for our, check it out, 7th year anniversary edition with Coach Patti, the launching of tips and tools for Sunday school. So much has happened in these last 7 years. From launching the vision and watching it birth and morph and grow, and even watching and seeing how over this time, how I've even grown and the ministry has expanded. And it's all because of this ministry of Sunday school teaching and Christian education and the passion and the gift that God has given us. So if you're here, you're a Sunday school teacher, Bible study teacher, Christian educator, just drop it in the chat and say hey. Let us know that you are here. And that's, of course, this sister out there around is like the ultimate supporter. And we thank you so much for joining us on tonight. And as I think back for many of us that are educators, I was thinking today, when did I actually start teaching? I'm not going to tell you the year I started teaching, but I will tell you the story. So I was just helping out in class. You know, you come into Sunday school every week. I was coming to Sunday school. I was helping out with the young class and, doing the arts and crafts, taking the children back and forth to the bathroom, that type of thing. And then one Sunday, we found out that the teacher was moving on to another assignment. And then I got the word that you were going to be teaching next Sunday. And I was like, what? How do you go from doing arts and crafts and snacks to being the teacher? I had no training. No one told me. I got the book and I showed up the next week. And needless to say, it was what I say was a crash and burn. It was a crash and burn. And it's happened week after week till I realized, listen, I'm not the first person that has had to teach. There has to be a better way. And I began my journey of educating myself on how to teach, and not just teach, but how to teach the Bible. Because again, teaching the Bible is not just for information, we teach for life transformation. And that was so important to me. And so as I began this journey and I began to teach, I started teaching the little people. I call them the littles, teaching the littles, and I graduated teaching young adults and then adults and then just all the different people. I learned so much. And I thought as I began to, get to certain ages, you think, how can you give back? And I began to think, what did I need when I first became a teacher? Did I need someone to watch somebody teach? No, I needed somebody to give me some tips and tools for Sunday school. And that's why we launched this ministry, to provide tools and resources and trainings on how to teach, how to prepare to teach, how to have care for your students, how to engage the church, how to be a part of the budget, right? All of the things that we need as teachers and as Christian educators. So that's why our theme is training teachers, building programs for life transformation. And so that's why we do that. So I thought one of the things that we would do is go back and look at our very first tip here at Tips and Tools for Sunday School. This is really interesting. All right, we're going to watch our very first tip. And welcome to Tips and Tools for Sunday School, where we are training teachers and building programs for life transformation. And I am your host, Sister Patti Johnson. We thank you for joining us for our first video tip. We are planning to have a brief video every Tuesday and Thursday. So make sure you like and follow this page. We don't want you to miss out on any of our great information. We hope by joining this community, you will experience numerical growth, spiritual transformation, and ministry expansion. For the next several videos, we're going to be reviewing a book, 100 Little Things, compiled by Darrell Wilson. Here he provides us 100 ideas we can implement in our teaching and in the managing of our Christian education program to improve our Sunday school, Bible study, and small group. Our first tip today comes from the area of teaching and learning. A critical question to ask every teacher is, why do you do what you do? And wait for an answer. You may hear, well, the pastor asked me. Well, I'm here all the time. Well, who else is going to do it? And while all of them may be vehicles to join our teaching team, prayerfully, every teacher has a call to teach and is passionate about their call with introducing Jesus, building disciples, and building the kingdom of God. Well, hope you enjoyed our first tip. Make sure you join us every Tuesday and Thursday. And thank you for joining Tips and Tools for Sunday School, where we are training teachers and building programs for life transformation. Thanks for joining us. All right. So that was first tip. Can you believe that? Our very first tip at Tips and Tools for a Sunday School. I thought I better put my glasses on because I couldn't really see. I got to do some maneuvering here in our little studio. But that was our very first tip. And we started out with just giving 100 tips. And what have we done? We have over 300 tips out on our YouTube page. And those tips, we decided to think about how do we want to curate that content. So as you can see, we decided that we would have 10 areas that we call for program excellence. I thought, what were the places that we needed to address if we're going to have Sunday schools that are impactful, Christian education programs that reach, that really engage students so that they can have life transformation. And so we thought about administration, right? I call administration, the books, the building, and the budget, right? That's what I call administration. Okay, we talked about attracting leaders. And the reason I say leaders and not teachers is that teachers are leaders. And oftentimes people try to put teachers in a little box, but teachers are some of the most pivotal and important leaders in your ministry. Care for members. How do you shepherd? How do you shepherd your class, right? It's more than just teaching on whatever day you're teaching. How do you engage your students, your participants during the times that you're not actually in class? What do you need to do? Talked about discipleship. We talked about enrollment, evangelism, student engagement, teaching, technology, and that's really taken off because we've really done a lot of work around AI now, around technology, and then just actually training your teachers. And so all of our tips can be found to fall in one of these 10 areas. So what I started to do was actually go back on the channel and begin to curate the content, to kind of put it in some playlists. So when you are looking for particular information, you can just go to the playlist. So we've started one called AI training. So we have some tips on there. We have tools for people who are Christian education directors. You can get that. Discipleship, 7 practices of a disciple. I also have a series on there to how to start your new Sunday school year, right? So we know that in September is the new Sunday school year, and we talk about ways to start that year to start it off right. I have a whole series on African American resources because what we often find is that the Sunday school materials and other resources aren't necessarily written with our vantage point or our perspective in view. So it's important if you're teaching African Americans that you have good African American resources. We have a series on asking the right question. Our current president of the International Sunday School Department, Dr. Mark Ellis, talks about the question is the biggest thing. What is the question that they're asking? Asking the right question. If you haven't watched that series, you should. We talk about Bible study methods. I even do a whole series on how to use your Sunday school book. Because what I found is that a lot of times we give teachers the book and they don't know what the book is. They don't know the layout of the book. They don't know how to engage the book to study and or teach. Fun facts about the Bible. We talk about genres. We look at the impact of social media as well. Signs of a post-Christian society. And that was a series that we did because we understand that the world that we live into now is considered post-Christian. And there was a time that everybody may have been considered a Christian, but we now live in a post-Christian society. And what's the impact of that, of our teaching and our training? Taking care of your class, again, that's important. And teaching virtually. We started that because we know with the pandemic, many of us went to teaching virtually, and many of us continue to teach virtually. And teaching virtually is different than teaching in person. And so we talked to you about some tips for that. So those are the 14 playlists that we have started. If you're interested, go out on our YouTube channel, which is Tips and Tools for Sunday School. Make sure you subscribe if you have not subscribed, okay, to be a part of what we are doing. Again, this particular work, I always say that we do is life and death work, because at the end of the day, how well you teach will determine someone's place of eternity. Thank you, Dr. Rodney Jones. Thank you for that. Happy anniversary. Yes, thank you so very much. And God bless you, Sister Althea, always very strong supporter of the ministry. We appreciate you as well. One of the things that we want to look at is that we want to continue to equip Christian educators. And so we have not stopped that ministry, but we have expanded that ministry. I have a new saying now where we are expand your leadership and expand your impact. And so we are doing that work. We are going to continue to give you practical strategies, resources, training, and tools to strengthen teachers and build programs and build leaders. One of the things I have found is that we want to have impactful Christian education ministries, but if we don't have the buy-in of leadership, your ministry will be impacted, will be hindered. And so one of the things we want to do is begin to engage leadership, begin to train leaders, build systems and structures so that our Christian education programs are growing, are thriving, and that they're continuing to have not only impact inside the walls, but the impact we want to have is outside the walls. That is the impact we want to have. And so that is what we're going to be doing even more so now with training for teachers. So as we look into our new year, we are going to be embarking to begin to teach the Sunday school lesson. And we're going to do a high-level teaching and give you some tips on what you should be thinking about when you teach this particular lesson. We're going to definitely do the Church of God in Christ Legacy lesson. I haven't sold myself on the International Sunday School lesson, but definitely Church of God in Christ Legacy lesson. We're going to provide you with notes for that lesson as well, and they will continue to be available. We're also going to provide you, Google Slides and PowerPoint presentations, because I'm thinking about how can we really, what tools do our teachers need? And one of the things, especially if you're teaching virtually or not, and we know that more, right, Dr. Jones, more people are visual learners than anything else, you need Google Slides. And so we want to help you with all of the resources so you can really spend time really studying and praying and developing yourself so that you can really teach for impact. So we want to do that. We're going to continue to have monthly trainings. We started doing that. We're going to be having trainings around AI and also leadership development. Our training in September You don't want to miss it. It's going to be how to do word study using AI. I can't wait to show you that particular resource. So we're going to be continue to do teaching around AI and how we can engage that technology in the Christian education space to not only save you time, but also build impact and also help you become a better teacher. And then we'll be doing trainings for teachers and leaders. So we're definitely interested in doing that. And to that extent, we would like to introduce. So I thought about as we were building that, what do we really need to have? And I thought I would go back and find all of the tools that we built over the years. And I'm so excited. Been thinking about this for a minute, and I decided if not now, then when? Nothing's ever going to be perfect, but this is the one best time. This is our 7th year. And I thought no better time as we enter into our 8th year of ministry to launch our Sunday School Teacher Toolkit. This will help you teach better, save time, and transform lives. I'm excited to include some of the tools that we have developed over the past 7 years, combining them. They've been refreshed, and we put them in tools that help you plan, help you engage, help you use AI responsibly and with integrity, and also help you to reflect. The book is only $19.99, and you can purchase it on our website, which is www.pattyjohnson.org. The site is up, it's live. If you go to the site, you will see some of the things that God has blessed us already this year. This is it's going to be our second offering. If you go to the website, you'll see my first book that is out there as we're talking about equipping leaders in ministry and marketplace. That book is available. And now the Sunday School Teacher Toolkit. I want to talk a little bit about what are you going to find in this toolkit and how to use this toolkit. Who needs this toolkit? Everybody that is a teacher, you need this toolkit. This is a one-stop resource. When you get the resource, you can modify it, change it, do whatever you need to do to help you teach, but you need this resource. If you are a Christian education director, Sunday school superintendent, jurisdictional field rep, jurisdictional superintendent, regional, you need this toolkit. This is a one-stop shop, something that you can place right in somebody's hand, shoot it to them in an email, and they have all the tools they need to get started from beginning to end. And we're going to walk through a little bit of some of the tools that are in the toolkit. Number one, there is the weekly activity guide. One of the things as I begin to get into this field and begin to teach teachers, I found that they were struggling with how to prepare to teach. Now, many of us know there's a difference in studying as a student and studying to teach. Those are two different types of studying. And this weekly activity guide takes you every day from day 1 to day 7, giving you a list of activities that you should be doing every day that will help you prepare to teach. You're going to be able to get all of your studying in, your research in, your lesson planning, you're connecting with your students. So when do I do it? How do I do it? If you don't have a plan, if you don't have a guide, this is a great tool, especially for new teachers who have never done this type of work. We many times just give warm bodies these functions, give them the job, but give them the toolkit so they can be successful. All right, so the weekly activity guide gives you day-to-day activities of what should I be doing as a teacher as I prepare to teach. There's a lesson planner in there, and we know that as a teacher, you need a lesson plan. There's a lesson planner in there. There is also a AI ministry prompt guide, and it has ways to have prompts to help you with lesson outlines, activities, and strategies. And it has what I call our mega prompt. This is a mega prompt that we developed in our introduction to ChatGPT class, and I've shared it with those. If you've been in that class, you already got the prompt. But for those of you, this is our mega prompt. You got to get it. It is awesome. It's amazing. It will shorten your time, streamline your studying, and it will make life easy for you as a teacher. One of the other things that I have in there is a weekly reflection guide. And I thought about this because oftentimes we are running, we're preparing to teach, we have the lesson, and once the lesson is over, we're off on to the next thing, on to the next week. And we rarely sometimes really take time to stop and reflect on that teaching experience. I will say that of all the tools that's there, the weekly reflection guide is going to be one of the most impactful tools that you use, because you're going to really take time to think about what went well, what could have gone better, but you're going to dig deep using that tool and reflect on how you can improve. That tool in and of itself will become a continuous improvement guide for you. How can I improve? Where do I need to improve? Where were my students? How do I find them? What do I do now that this lesson has happened? How do I use this reflection tool to better my teaching and really reach my students even better? Okay, so I think out of all of the tools, the weekly reflection guide is going to be one of the most impactful tools there. At the end, we have a student evaluation form. So again, Christian education directors, Sunday school superintendents, jurisdictional leaders, it has a student evaluation form. This is important for teachers. And I know that because the student evaluation form is going to give you 10 major things that you should be looking out for your students. Did they get the lesson? Are they understanding? What was the impact of your teaching? The student evaluation tool is something that you can use for your students, and you should be evaluating them. If you are teaching little people, young adults, teenagers, this is a great tool to use in having conversation with parents, because you can take your student evaluation tool and say, this is what I see. This is where we need to have improvement. And this is how you can partner with me to help your child and help your student. So the student evaluation tool is going to be great for you as teachers to really help you begin to focus. Once you see that student evaluation tool, it will change how you teach. It will change how you teach. It will change your focus in your teacher preparation when you see what is the expectation for my student. It will change the way you teach. It will change the way you prepare. All right, that's the student evaluation tool. Then there's a teacher evaluation form. Why did you include that for teachers? Because teachers need to know, even in themselves, what is the expectation for me? There are many teachers that are teaching and nobody ever evaluates them. Nobody ever tells them how they're doing, where they can build, where they see improvement, what they're doing well. You can do a self-evaluation. You can use that teacher evaluation form, again, to evaluate your work. It will also help you in your teaching, in your preparation, in your interaction with your community. So that teacher evaluation form is key. And if you're a Sunday school superintendent, you need that form, because you need to be evaluating your teachers at least once a year. You need to come and observe them teaching several times during the teaching year and then take all of those observations and put them together and have a one-on-one conversation with that teacher every year. I have a little mantra that I have. I use this in the workplace, but it's applicable here. What gets monitored gets done. What gets monitored gets done. What you pay attention to is what people will pay attention to. And if you want your teachers to teach better, let them know that you're going to be evaluating them. Let them know that they have an annual conversation that they're going to have with you as to where they are and where they need to go. And quite honestly, that is a good way to have a conversation if you need to transition somebody to another ministry. That's the perfect tool for you to use. Objective and not subjective. It's an objective tool around standardized teacher formats and teacher expectations. It's a great way to give your teachers your expectations, because this is what I'm going to be evaluating you on. All right, great tool. And the last one is 32 AI tools for educators. These are real live tools. You can create videos. You can create song, music, jingles, reels, Instagram posts, of course, your Google Slides and your PowerPoint presentations, develop graphics. So these are 32 tools that have been vetted. Not only they are being used in educational institutions and systems all across the country, and now you have them as a Christian educator. So again, just want to celebrate with the launch of our Sunday School Teacher Toolkit. It's on sale right now, live on the website, $19.99. Would love for you to support this part of the ministry. Again, this is a great resource for new teachers. This is a great resource for rec teachers. If you've been teaching all along, you need a freshening. You need continuing education. You need continuous improvement. If you are a Sunday school superintendent, Christian education director, jurisdictional field rep, Sunday school superintendent, you need this resource to share with your churches. You can use this toolkit for training purposes. It is built to do training. Again, I am using this toolkit to go out and train jurisdictions using this toolkit. So it is a great resource in your library. So please help us and support the ministry and get your toolkit. All right, get your toolkit and let us know. Once you get it, let us know how you're using it. Let us know how it's impacting you. Give us some feedback, because we definitely need feedback. We're going to be continuing to offer. That's really it. What gets monitored gets done. Absolutely. That is a principle. If you will follow that principle, you will find yourself to be more productive. You will find the right things, not just anything getting done, but the right thing getting done the right way. That's really what productivity is. So come on and join us in the Tips and Tools for Sunday School community. We are very excited about what God is going to do this year. I need your prayers as we continue to expand our leadership, expand our impact, expand what God has given us to do in this part of the Lord's vineyard. I'm excited to continue to partner with you, to bring you teaching, to bring you training, and continue to build the next generation of Christian education teachers and leaders. God has called us to a great work, and a great work must be done. All right, I want to thank you again for joining us again here at Tips and Tools for Sunday School, where we are training teachers, building programs for life transformation. It's anniversary time. Happy anniversary.